Hello, my name is Tom Perriam. I'm the worship associate today. My pronouns are he, him. I am a 6-foot-tall white man with a maroon sweater. Welcome, everyone. We come here to practice loving our neighbors and loving our whole selves. Thank you to our team of volunteers and staff who make Sunday mornings possible, and welcome not only the people here in the sanctuary, but to everyone online. If you're watching on YouTube, please introduce yourselves in the chat so that we may get to know you better. At First Unitarian, we share our pronouns and offer visual self-description to welcome all into the full life of our church. In that same spirit of love and equity, we have large print orders of service and hymnals available at the back of the sanctuary. There are also a few over-the-ear hearing assistance devices. Our sanctuary is equipped with a telecoil hearing loop system. To utilize the telecoil with your own hearing aid, contact your hearing aid provider for details. We ask that everyone silence their mobile phones or anything else that may distract us for the next hour. I'd like to highlight the order of service on the back. We have several events going on in the near future. I'd like to highlight specifically after service today, there is the Alliance Sweet and Savory sale. If you don't know what the Alliance is, ask one of the people staffing the Sweet and Savory sale. I'm sure they'd love to tell you. And then on Saturday, December 20th at 6 p.m., we have the Family Yule Party for celebration of the seasonal turn of the wheel. Potluck, music, crafts, and singing. This and other events are on the back of your order of service. If you're not, more information is also available in our weekly newsletter and our website. We strive to share information. Staying informed about community life is a shared responsibility. If you're not yet on our email list, please use the QR code in the pews to sign up. If you're online, you can sign up under the newcomers section of our website. Now, let's take a short moment to greet each other. Thank you for helping create the warm welcome of our community. After the service, please stick around and continue your conversation and hopefully make some new friends in the social hall. We are now moving on to our chalice lighting. If you are listening at home, I invite you to light a candle or chalice in your light as we light one here. Lighting our chalice today is Marilee Perriam. In honor of her anniversary to her first husband. We light our chalice in Midtown Oklahoma City on land that was home to first Americans, including the Apache, Caddo, and Wichita, on land that was taken from the Muskogee and Seminole and other removed and relocated peoples. Flame of fire, spark of the universe that warmed our ancestral hearth, agent of life and death, symbol of truth and freedom, we strive to understand ourselves and our earthly home.
I have learned that it is the custom of this congregation to light a memorial candle when a member of our community passes. On November 26th, Naz, who many of you know as Kimber, when he was a young person here, died. Naz was the son of Maureen and Scott Harvey. Today, we light a memorial candle to honor Naz's life and his struggles and his love. And we light this flame also as a small symbol of warmth and hope for his family in this time of loss.
Please share the covenant with me. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
I'll offer an official introduction now. Good morning, I'm Reverend Kent. I use he, him pronouns. I'm a white man of middle age. I have short brown hair and a clean-shaven face. This morning I'm wearing a black clergy robe and a vibrant silk stole. This morning I want to say thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up for each other and for yourself during this short time that we set aside this week. Thank you for pausing to open to the possibilities of new ideas and to open your heart a little bit to the possibility of inspiration. Thank you for braving the cold or turning on your computer, for sitting still and being present. Showing up and being present is one of the most impactful things that we can do with our very short lives. It is good to be a part of this shared community, showing up for one another. Welcome. Our opening hymn this morning is number 318 in your gray hymnals, We Would Be One. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit to join in singing. Would you join me for a short moment of prayer or meditation? You might let your eyes gently close if that's comfortable for you. Spirit of life, God of many names, mystery beyond naming. We gather in thanks for this good day to be together in this room that is warm. This time of year, I'm reminded of the extremes of the joy and the despair. The have and the have not seem to be in greater contrast these days. Reminded by that, we lift up in our prayers those who are struggling with homelessness, those who are scraping together a holiday in this uncertain economy and uncertain times. We're grateful for this time to be together and the families that we do get to enjoy and be a part of in these holiday seasons. All this we lift up as our common prayer. Amen. And Tim has a message of hope to share with us this morning with some very fun props involved.
All right, good morning. My name is Tim Atkins, and I serve as your Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration. I'm both big and tall, wearing a Christmas cow sweater. Every week in December, you'll see me with a different ugly holiday sweater. I have brown hair, my pronouns are he, him, and I'm currently wearing rainbow glasses. But I brought something fun with me this morning. With the party scene. Okay. Now these right here are my special snowflake spectacles. They're not real glasses exactly. They don't help you. Okay, well these do help me see better, but they help you see differently. Now I want everyone here, kids and adults alike, to put on your invisible pair. Go ahead, grab them out of the air, and go ahead and put them on. Perfect. So let's look at the world through this first lens, the everything is wrong lens. Oh no, according to these glasses, there's not enough sunlight in winter. It's too cold. The days are too short. There's a line for the hot cocoa. And someone ate the last peppermint cookie. Well, what are your glasses telling you that's wrong with winter? Go ahead and shout it out. What's wrong with winter wearing our spectacles? The everything is wrong lens. Too dark. Cold. Ooh. Oh. All right. Very nice. So these glasses can show us everything that's not great about this moment. But here's the thing. That's just one lens. That's just one way of looking. So now let's switch lenses. Grab your imaginary glasses, take them off, give them a good wipe, put on another pair. Whoosh. And now let's try the what's possible lens. Oh, look at that. Now the glasses say the cold makes room for cozy blankets. The dark gives us twinkly lights. Short days mean we get to slow down a little. And that peppermint cookie, well, maybe the person who ate it really needed a cookie today. Well, what are some of the good things that you see in the wintertime? Go ahead and shout it out. More Christmas. Family. Santa Claus. Music. All right. Isn't it amazing? We didn't change the world. We just changed our perspective. So I brought a little snowflake with me too. Snowflakes remind me of hope. A moment ago, they were just cold air, nothing special. And then suddenly, when the conditions are right, something beautiful appears. So everyone, hold out your hand for a moment. Imagine a snowflake landing on your palm right there. Look at your imaginary snowflake. What hope might that tiny gift be holding for you today? So here's what winter teaches us. What we assume about the world and how we look at our circumstances can either shrink our hope or open it wide. When things feel hard or cold or dark, we can choose another lens. We can choose the lens that helps us see possibility and beauty and connection and hope. And the best part, we don't actually need the special glasses to find hope. We just need to remember to look for it. The end. So now is the time in our service where we sing our children and youth and volunteers off to their religious exploration clubs. Miss Jessica will be leading our games club today. And in our club with Miss Elizabeth, we're making gingerbread houses out of graham crackers. Should be fun. So we are going to do a new song this week for our dismissal. We're going to sing Go Tell It on the Mountain. The words are in your order of service.
About 2 weeks ago, I came down with a nasty virus. I'm feeling better now, but the week of Thanksgiving was rough. I was achy, congested, coughing. Intellectually, I knew that this wouldn't last forever, but in the moment, that knowledge didn't help me at all. I was suffering. At some point, I reminded myself that others have it far worse, either from more serious illness or poverty or war. I knew also that some of those who have suffered greatly have brought beauty from that experience, while here I was, feeling sorry for myself in a warm house surrounded by a loving family. But this kind of perspective, rather than being a comfort, only serves a cudgel to beat myself up, and only made me feel worse, like my suffering was invalid and my unhappiness was pathetic. A different kind of perspective then was needed. I got some solace from something I picked up in a book I recently read, Welcoming the Unwelcome by Pema Chodron. In this book, Chodron describes a modified version of the Tonglen meditation practice. What this looked like for me was to begin by fully focusing on my suffering, not to push it away as I'd been diligently doing with Ken Burns documentaries and mindless scrolling, but instead to focus on it, to acknowledge it and own it. What I was feeling physically, but also the frustration of being housebound and the anger at the inconvenience of it all. I tried to feel these feelings fully with my whole being and imagine it all condensing into a tight little ball. Having focused all of this into one place, I turned outward, imagining all the other people who at that very moment were sick just like me and headachy and frustrated and angsty just like me. Knowing that there were others having the same experience, that we all suffer the same way, was hopeful and comforting to know that we're all in this together. There's a reason we run through this before the service, but generosity is a spiritual practice we embrace every Sunday when we take an offering. All the cash and designated checks are distributed directly to external nonprofit organization doing good work in the community. This month, our offer supports the UUSC, and Laura will come to tell us more about that.
Good morning, I'm Lana Henson. I'm an older female with red hair, and I'm wearing a Christmas outfit, and I am your local representative to the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, or UUSC. In 1940, the Unitarian Services Committee, the predecessor of UUSC, was established to coordinate humanitarian efforts and offer aid to children and refugees during World War II. Unitarian minister Reverend Waitzel Sharp and his wife Martha went to Prague to assist refugees. They traveled abroad, contributing whatever they could to help persecuted peoples escape war. Since then, UUSC has bolstered grassroots-led movements for change in the U.S. and around the world, from organizing exploited migrant workers in Texas in the 1940s, addressing the Rwandan genocide in the 1990s, to today's work to help mitigate the impacts of climate change. UUSC has done this important social justice work, funded only by donations and membership dues. As our December Change for Change recipient, your donations will help continue their important work in the world. Please give generously. Ushers may now come forward.
Thank you, Lana. And as we enjoy the music, the ushers will pass the plate. And online, you can make a gift through the One You See website or send a check to First Unitarian. Just write Change for Change in the memo line. Thank you.
Our reading this morning comes from Kent Nerburn. He writes, "We are not saints, we are not heroes. Our lives are lived in the quiet corners of the ordinary. We build tiny hearth fires, sometimes barely strong enough to give off warmth. But to the person lost in the darkness, our tiny flames may be the road to safety, the path to salvation. It's not given us to know who is lost in the darkness that surrounds us, or even if our light is seen. We can only know that against even the smallest of lights, darkness cannot stand. A sailor lost at sea can be guided home by a single candle. A person lost in the woods can be led to safety by a flickering flame. It's not an issue of quality or intensity or purity. It is simply an issue of the presence of light." Here ends our reading.
Holiday is here, it's a happy time of year. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Once upon a time, sung in melody and rhyme. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Candles alight and their flame is so bright, reflected in little children's eyes. Come and dance to the tune in the holiday moon. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Holiday is here, it's a happy time of year. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Once upon a time, sung in melody and rhyme. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Candles alight and their flame is so bright, reflected in little children's eyes. And song and dance to the tune in the holiday moon. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Bitty bum, bitty 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 bum. Bitty 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 bum.
Let's join for a short moment of silence. You may call it meditation or centering or just being still. Let your eyes gently close, settle back into your seat. Let us join in the wisdom of silence shared together. Namaste. Amen. Shalom and blessed be. This morning's sermon was initially inspired by Mark Nepo's writing. He talks about something that we have all experienced. If you've stubbed your toe, or maybe someone said to you the exact words that cut you to your core, in the blink of an eye, the difficulty of the moment can consume our entire world. Mark Nepo talks about the value of perspective, even when something much more significant brings a dark cloud. His was his journey with cancer. He writes, "My first chemo treatment was so hard and botched, and I was in great pain, sickness, and fear while stuck in a Holiday Inn. Even though I felt broken in the moment, the sun was still shining, and down the street a baby was being born. And somewhere else people were making love, and someone was being grateful to someone else. All of it was happening at once," he writes. The goodness or the badness of it all, our ability to find hope, is a matter of perspective often. We tend to swing between making the present moment everything or nothing. Fear and blame, especially the endless supply available on social media, are big contributors to that narrowing of perspective onto focusing on the problem. The challenge, Mark Nepo says, is to open your heart to what's happening beyond your part of the moment, to the moment of life everywhere. He tells another story about his 94-year-old Russian immigrant grandmother and visiting her. He says one day he was visiting and she seemed especially grim and gloomy. He asked what the matter was. And she said, "It's a very gloomy day." He hadn't noticed anything on his way in, so he turned to the window of her small room, and he saw that it hadn't been cleaned in at least 6 months. He committed to get the window cleaned and offered to take her outside to the courtyard to the generally pleasant day. She looked at the window and said wryly, "Got a dirty eye, see a dirty world." It's so easy for the problem of the moment to block our view of bigger possibilities. Does anyone, I'm sure you do, remember the children's book Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day? I know at least my peers do, because it was everywhere. It is a gem of children's literature by Judy Viorst, published in 1972. It was certainly popular in my church back in those days. One day Alexander wakes up and everything that possibly could go wrong does. He wakes up to find gum in his hair. He drops his sweater in the sink that is filled with water. His brothers find prizes in their cereal box. Of course, he has none. On the ride to school, he's denied the window seat and feels carsick. At school, his teacher criticizes his work. His best friends drop him for another. And his mom, of course, forgets to put dessert in his lunch at school. As the refrain goes, it was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I admit I had to look up those details. I even had to look up the title of the book. The one thing I didn't have to look up, the line that is seared in my brain, is the very last line of the book. Throughout the book, when frustration arises, Alexander figures, maybe I should move to Australia. But finally, at the end of this legitimately terrible day, as Alexander is thinking things through in his head, he remembers what his mom says and repeats, "Mom says some days are like that, even in Australia." What wonderful wisdom for a 9-year-old or an 89-year-old. Some days are just like that, even in Australia. As we reach for hope, it seems that half the task is broadening our perspective to see beyond the immediate problem. You may have heard a definition for hope from Václav Havel. He says, "Hope is not the conviction that something will turn out well, but the certainty that something makes sense regardless of how it turns out." Lest you dismiss him as naive, he came of age in the Czech Socialist Republic under a communist state. His political activism landed him in jail several times, the longest being for 4 years. His political organizing eventually contributed to toppling that communist regime, and he landed himself in the president's role shortly after that. He knows a little something about hope and despair. Hope is not the conviction that something will turn out well, but the certainty that something makes sense regardless of how it turns out. This is another possible shift in perspective. Rather than focusing exclusively on the outcome or the distant future, what if we found hope in the realization that what we are doing now is right, regardless of the outcome? There's no guarantee of anything in the future, after all. We may one day come to face the possibility that our efforts, our work, turned out differently than we expected, or that our work really had no impact at all. For those of us who are results-driven, and I will certainly include myself in that group, those who think about legacy or the arc of a career or future generations, letting go of that orientation is really scary. But releasing the stranglehold on the certainty of a particular outcome opens a whole world of possibilities for the rightness and the truth of the work at hand and in the moment. Letting go of outcomes opens the door to being present to the person in front of us, or the task at hand, or being present that this moment is okay. This made me wonder a lot about finding hope in our current political climate. I wonder what we might do that makes sense right now, regardless of the eventual outcome. For me, the thing that I can most readily commit to is seeking truth, irrespective of the political outcome. I believe that we are all better off when we commit to understanding the truth, as scary as that may be. I think there's also something to be said for not stooping to name-calling or devaluing other people. That's perhaps more an aspiration than a solid commitment for me at this point. What is it that you do right now that makes sense? What ways of being do you feel so sure of that they provide hope, regardless of the outcome? That approach is certainly part of a nonviolent resistance in history, even though it was an incredibly effective strategy. The hope of nonviolence isn't in the effectiveness of the strategy. The hope is that nonviolence is the only possible strategy for building the world that we claim to be aiming for. Among our youth, and sometimes in other committees and classes, we create group covenants. Covenants are a huge part of our Unitarian Universalist tradition. One of the values or promises that I often hear brought up in covenants is to assume good intentions of each other. It's an essential basic rule when discussing hard topics or trying to work on important issues. assuming good intentions, cultivating the virtue, some would call it, of magnanimity. It's a tremendous spiritual pursuit. It's also a shift in perspective that can open up to a much more hopeful possibility. A few years ago, exploring issues of homelessness with a previous congregation, we read the book Stories from the Shadow, Reflections of a Street Doctor. The book spans 2 or 3 decades of the work of Dr. Jim O'Connell and the people experiencing homelessness that he worked with over those decades. There are a few light moments, but the majority of the stories are really, really hard. The author doesn't spare any details about the challenges that folks face. He describes in detail the efforts to communicate with people with profound mental disabilities and addictions. And you hear through the book, through 30 years of providing medical care for the most marginalized people that you can imagine, you hear him treat every one of them with dignity and respect. It's sometimes easy to write these true heroes off as saints with superhuman powers, as impossible to emulate. But what I took from this book was his guiding principle of curiosity. You see, Dr. O'Connell landed in street medicine after graduating from Harvard Medical School. He was a promising academic and a student, but he had a hunger to learn and to understand things. That deep curiosity seemed to transform when he landed in what he thought would be a short internship doing street medicine. But moved by the nurses doing incredible work, and moved by the opportunity to make an immediate difference in the lives of the most marginalized folks, he found the focus of his curiosity shifted from books to people. Each and every patient he encountered, whether for one visit or for years of treatment, he sought to know the whole person, not just their medical history, but to glimpse the world through their eyes as much as that would ever be possible. Genuine curiosity is a powerful bridge builder. Genuine curiosity isn't a game of 20 questions. It's not collecting stories for entertainment or trying to be woke. Genuine curiosity is a desire to know another person and, even if for a short time, engage in a trusting relationship with them. It requires a willingness to be uncomfortable sometimes with what we hear, and an openness to experiencing the world through someone else's eyes. It's hard, it requires vulnerability, but when you know someone's stories and struggles, we're much more able to understand their choices. Assuming good intention, being generous of spirit, can be hard. Sometimes it feels like taking a disadvantaged position. But I believe that cooperation and good intention is much more common than we like to think, or than some people assume is the natural way. In many ways, life is hard. We have to work hard to succeed. We have to take care of our family. There is struggle. But more often than not, we are in this together. Just like us, most of the people out there are trying their best that they can to be financially secure, to spend time with the people they love, and to find a little joy. Sociologist and writer Brené Brown invites her readers and clients to remember that everyone is doing the best they can. Based on their education or their emotional burdens they carry, based on what they experienced in the last hour, people are typically trying to do well and to be good. Most of us are trying to make enough to be comfortable. We worry about family and friends. We're probably a little distracted much of the time because of those two. All of us tend to react from an emotional place rather than enacting a well-reasoned response. But for the most part, most people are acting with good intention in the world. They don't wake up and walk to their secret evil lair and pet their hairless cat and twiddle their thumbs to inflict more pain and suffering. Most people, most of the time, are trying to live their lives in a way that's positive and helpful, with good intention. Even that one that cuts you off in traffic, even the person that took the last roll of toilet paper or the carton of eggs from the grocery store. They are trying to stay healthy and keep their families that way. I'm not asking you to assume people are always nice or generous or smart all the time. I'm asking us to assume that they want to be. That shift in perspective not only makes us more inclined to be compassionate, assuming good intention also opens us to a world of possibilities. It's worth having some hope when we share this planet with 8 billion people who are all genuinely trying. It's worth having some hope when we appreciate that just like us, our neighbors want to be safe and at ease. When we realize we are in this together, the world is just a little less terrifying of a place. Amen. Our closing hymn today is in your green hymnals. When Our Heart is in a Holy Place, it's number 1008. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit to join in singing. When our heart is in
As we come to the end of the service, may you depart from our time together buoyed by the Spirit of life, delighted by the warmth of our gathering, and renewed in soul and mind. As we extinguish the flame of our chalice, may its lingering spark be carried in your heart until we are together again.
When the world offers you despair, choose possibility. When cynicism seems reasonable, choose engagement. May our hope be grounded in love and expressed through action, and may we return here when you need to find the courage to choose hope again. Friends, go in peace. Let the light within you be a blessing to the world.